Science teacher. We are learning chapter 13, magnetic effect of electric current. Now, as what I told you, I showed you magnetic field and field lines. Now, in this one, what we discussed earlier was we learned what is magnetic field lines, what are the properties of a magnetic field line. The next what we saw was magnetic field of a current carrying conductor. Then we saw the direction using right hand thumb rule. Okay, then we saw magnetic field due to a circular loop, okay. After then we saw was magnetic field due to solenoid, right. Then when you wrap the wires closely and woundly in the form of a cylinder, it will become a solenoid. After then, what we are going to see next today is force of a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Now understand this thing very properly. Force on a current carrying conductor. Let's say now we put a magnetic field. So we have a permanent magnetic field. Let me show you here. We have a permanent magnetic field like this. See, so basically there is a horseshoe magnet. Okay. So this is your north pole and this is your south pole. So common sense, the magnetic field goes like this, okay, from north to south. Now in this one, if you try to put a wire, understand this thing, if you put a wire here, okay, a current carrying wire inside this magnetic field, so definitely the magnetic field also, this wire also have a magnetic field around. So basically there are two magnetic field collapse. One is because of a permanent magnet and other because of this current carrying wire. So when these two magnetic field interact with each other, there must be some attraction or repulsion. Common sense. Again I repeat the question, understand what is the scenario. We have a current carrying wire. So basically a current carrying wire have a magnetic field around, right. Second thing, we have a permanent magnet. So we are putting a current carrying wire, right, in the middle of the horseshoe magnet, so that there are two magnetic field collapse. When these two magnetic field collapse, what happen is, when these two magnetic field collapse, what happen is they interact with each other such that either there should be some attractive force between each other or repulsive force between each other. Understand, it's simple. Either there must be some attractive force among each other or repulsive force among each other. So that is what we are going to learn. Now see, this is your horseshoe magnet, okay. This is your north pole, this is your south pole. We are putting a current carrying wire, as what you see in this book. We are putting a current carrying wire inside the magnetic field. So basically this is your current carrying wire. Now this current carrying wire is tied, see it should be hanged, right. So it should be hanged, so definitely it should be tied. So we are tying it with some wire, okay. So basically for that we need a stand, okay, we need a stand like this, and we are putting it like this. So we are tying means that wire, as what we say, okay, and this wire again like this. So we are tying it a wire, and other end it should goes like this, okay, which is connected to a battery and a key, right, which is connected to a battery and a key. So this is all about how does our construction works, right. So we are attaching a wire, we are connected that wire with this one so that it should hang in the air properly. Now the question arises, what will happen next? Now the question arises, what will happen next? So what will happen is this wire, right? Now you know, whenever you take a heavy object and a lighter object, when the force applied among two objects, it's one and a simple thing happen. What? Even always the lighter object get attracted or repulsed. The heavy object stay there. For example, if you are taking a horseshoe magnet to a cupboard, iron cupboard, you know what happened. The iron cupboard never get attracted towards you. Only that metal, that your horseshoe magnet get attracted towards it. Okay. So always the lighter. So here the horseshoe magnet is heavy and the wire is lighter. Hence the wire is lighter. It will attract it towards the horseshoe magnet. So either it will go. So basically, what is the direction of current here? Okay. Now in our book they have mentioned. So we'll put it like this. So we are putting like this. So basically the current goes from positive to negative. So it goes like this, this, it is like this. Now the question arises, how does, so see, the magnetic field is in this direction, downward direction, right? Okay, and the wire is kept like this, So basically the current is going in this direction. As what you can see, and a very important phenomena here is, this should be perpendicular to each other. Understand very simple logic. This should be perpendicular. Can you see? There has to be a 90-degree angle between both magnetic field. Magnetic field due to a permanent magnet and the magnetic field due to current. They both should be perpendicular to each other. One and a very simple thing. If they are not perpendicular, and what if the current, the magnetic field, okay, so this is the magnetic field. Let me redraw. So this is the magnetic field of a current and this is the magnetic field of a, this is the magnetic field of a current and this is the magnetic field of a permanent magnet. If both of them are parallel, if they are parallel, okay, then what happen? Then no force exert on it. Then what happen? No force exert. But when they are perpendicular, what perpendicular? Magnetic field due to current carrying wire and the magnetic field of a permanent magnet, they both are perpendicular, then maximum force exerted. So basically 90-degree angle, we have a maximum force, and as the angle decreases 80, 70, 50, 60, 40, then the force also decreases, and when they are parallel the force will become 0. When they are parallel, the force will become 0. Understood? So this is very simple and a clear logic as what I said. If they are perpendicular, the magnetic force is maximum. If they are parallel or anti-parallel, right, there is no force. So understand this thing. We have to put a wire in such a way that the current and those two are perpendicular. Current, again I am using the current, the direction of current and magnetic field are perpendicular. Again I am using the direction of current and magnetic field should be perpendicular. So this blue line represent the direction of current and the red line represent the direction of magnetic field lines. The blue line represents the current and the red line represents the magnetic field lines. So it's as simple as it is. Okay. So this is simple. Direction of current, okay, direction of current and direction of magnetic field line should be perpendicular to each other. Okay, what should be perpendicular? Direction of current and direction of magnetic field should be perpendicular to each other. Now, Once we know, you know that the wire either get attracted on one side or other side. So the question is on which direction it get attracted. But let us see in our book first. Who did this experiment for the first time? It's French scientist André Marie Ampere, right? That magnet must also get attract equal and opposite force on a current carrying conductor. The displacement of a rod in the above activity suggests that the force exerted on a current carrying aluminum rod when it is placed in a magnetic field it suggests that the direction of force is reverse, the current of the direction of conductor also get reverse. Okay. So definitely when you reverse the current, the direction of current, the force also get reverse. Now the direction of force on the conductor depends upon either the direction of current or either the direction of magnetic field. Now that is why when the direction of current is at right angle to the magnetic field, again what? The direction of current is at the right angle to the magnetic field, then the force will be maximum. Okay, the force is the highest. Can you see it? But means when they both are perpendicular to each other. Okay, when they both are perpendicular to each other. And who give you the answer that in which direction it is get attracted? That is called a Fleming left hand rule. Now take your left hand. Take your left hand. The first finger gives you the direction of magnetic field. The first finger gives you the direction of magnetic field. The middle finger gives you the direction of current. Okay. The first finger gives you the direction of magnetic field. The middle finger gives you the direction of current. Okay. They should be perpendicular to each other. They should be perpendicular to each other. And the thumb, in which direction thumb shows, that is the direction of force. That is the direction of force. And if you properly see, they all three are perpendicular. It's not only field and current perpendicular, they all three are perpendicular. Okay, they all three are perpendicular. See, this is your thumb, okay, your middle finger. So they both are perpendicular. That is not it. Even when your force is there, this is your, let's say, force, that is your thumb, right? Sorry. This is your first finger. First finger gives you, right, index finger, which you say, index finger, that shows you which thing? Index finger shows you the direction of magnetic field. Okay. Middle finger gives you the direction of current, and the thumb shows you the direction of force. So what is the product we get here? Thumb. Thumb is the final answer. So you always remember in which direction, right? So in our case, if you see, right, they both are perpendicular. So but the question is, it's not only the field and the current are perpendicular, even thumb and the field, means the force and the field are perpendicular, even the force and the current are also perpendicular to each other. Try this thing, and this is called Fleming left hand rule. And this, with this we can get that a current carrying wire experience the force when it is placed inside a permanent magnetic field. And who give you the answer? Who give you the answer? Who give you the answer? Fleming left hand rule. Okay, got it? Fine. So read this one, it's really important, Fleming left hand rule, and try to answer this question of 13.2. Example 13.2. Okay. That's it for today. Thank you so much.